Top 5 things you probably didn't know about Georgia. Yes, we're back in the tour of the states. There are more than just the 3, and since it'll be a few weeks before the next seasonal upload, I figured we might as well get some more states taken care of. Now here's something you might not realize. I've already done 3 other states, and there is a rather obscure connection between those 3 and this one. If you think you might have it, go ahead and put it in the comments. So, what sort of facts can be stated about this state that was originally one of the 13 colonies? What kind of facts can be gleaned from a study in this peach state? What makes this state so unique among the other 49? I'm going to be switching it up with the format, so grab a glass of iced tea, sit back, relax, and let's get started. A man by the name of James Oglethorpe was responsible for the foundation of this colony in 1755. He envisioned a place where people who had been in debtor's prison or people who were underclass would find refuge and work. And of course, naming it after the King of England probably helped out. Being one of the original 13 colonies meant that it would be on the side of the Americans in the Revolutionary War, but would secede when the question that took us to the Civil War grew to a boiling point. I don't want to go into that too much, except to say that I am glad it turned out the way it did. Savannah is the oldest city in the state, which makes it also the first official capital of the state. During the first century of its existence, there were 4 capital cities before finally ending in Atlanta. By population, Georgia is listed as the 9th highest. Of course, may realize one particular well-beloved classic movie was set in Georgia, but we don't give a damn. Since it is relatively in a coastal region, Georgia sees a lot of moisture, which makes them pretty spectacular places. If I were to choose one particular one, it would have to be one of the following. The Amicalola Falls, and forgive me if I mispronounced it, is a 729-foot waterfall in Dawson County with a name derived from Cherokee and meaning tumbling waters. One site you've probably heard of is the Okefenokee Swamp, a large wetland approximately 438,000 acres large, and not much of it is really explored. There is a slight possibility that the infamous Flight 19, in the case of the Bermuda Triangle, may have actually crashed in the swamp, making it nearly impossible to find them. Or maybe I'd choose Jekyll Island, a possible tourist destination. Still, a part of the landscape is flat and close enough to the Atlantic Ocean that hurricanes have a tendency to hit there. Still, as a certain puppet pointed out, it'd be easy to see if one was coming and to move them all inland. Georgia, also known as the Peach State, produces a lot of poultry. Sorry I didn't do a lead up to this, even if it wasn't what you thought. There's just not that many peach puns I could think of. But I don't think I'm a turkey if I act like I'm no chicken when it comes to this. Egging it on, there are actually a number of crops, but many people don't realize that broilers and other chicken products come out of Georgia. In fact, although I have personally seen some of the poultry production from my own hometown, Georgia is the largest supplier of poultry in the country. I think it's fair to say that the state of Georgia might just be south. Okay, I've got to stop. It's really no wonder that, for this category, I chose the busiest airport in the world. The Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, just outside of Atlanta, is perhaps known as a huge hub for Delta. And no sponsorship. Originally, the area the airport sits on was a racetrack, with a small partition set aside for an airfield. This was in 1925, where air travel was still just an idea that might be more than just a fad. When the fact it was not going to be a curiosity or a simple quirk, 2 airmail services went in. In 1930, the 2, which were the forerunners of Delta and its partners, set up shop in the airfield before it received a huge boost when the precursor of the Air Force came there too. By 1946, the airfield was officially classified as an airport, And it was not a long time before the port became more and more, bigger and bigger, and it took up position with the big airports of New York City and Chicago. By sheer numbers, it is clear why the Atlanta International Airport is officially the most busy airport in the world. While not as spacious as Denver or as spread out as Chicago, it flies over 1,000 airplanes a day and over 100,000 people. With 5 runways, it's officially a very crowded and busy place to be. Personally, I've only been there 3 times. The sheer busy time, last time I was there with my wife, took our flight to several different gateways and made it a little irritating when we moved from gate to gate before finally ending up at last at the first gate we were told our connection would be arriving. First time I picked up a baseball printed with the names of the Atlanta Braves in the 1995 season, and also picked up a pack of baseball cards of the same team. It's a bit of a wonder that was the only time the team won the World Series, but I still have both of these relatively useless and worthless items. Not suggesting anything, just a personal reflection. But who could I have chosen as the most recognized Georgia resident of them all? What person did I think was historically impactful enough to give not just ripples, but waves throughout history?
While he has moved from place to place, the most notable person who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, would definitely be the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
He had grown up in the parts of the country where segregation by skin color was accepted and even upheld by the law. It is clear in the study of his life that he felt the segregation was wrong. He became a Baptist minister, which helped him earn his reputation as an excellent and persuasive speaker. And then a young lady by the name of Rosa Parks was too tired to move to the back of the bus, thereby setting off the series of events that made enough of an impact that would be felt decades later. It is interesting to note that there were 2 divergent paths that were available, with another person, Malcolm X, trying to make an entirely separate country for those who felt their skin color just a few shades darker by things they were not in control of deserved it. And Dr. King had a dream. Due to the efforts of Dr. King and other figures, the idea of discrimination based on not only skin color but also other things that a person really has no conscious control over became illegal. The Civil Rights Act paved the way for equality to be made possible. Because of that dream, the remaining discriminatory acts were ended because many types of hate were made politically and legally wrong. Now, I'm not going to say this was the end of racism. It certainly wasn't. It's clear by saying that hate crimes still happen and that it still exists. I personally find it very interesting, though, that Dr. King gave the idea freely that darkness cannot end darkness and that hate doesn't end hate. And the dream is still alive. So that's it. That lesson had me feeling really good, I'll admit. So I asked for a like and a comment as they help out more than you know. And if you want to get notifications of when I put a new video up, right now just one a week, please subscribe and click on the little bell icon. And here's the deal. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I'll do a Q&A live stream, and we'll do 9 more at every 100 until I hit 1,000 subscribers. I hit that, I will do 2 a week. I know that I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope you enjoy watching them. So with that, I'll see you next time. It's not supposed to be political, so